Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. If you're new, I want to go ahead and let you know this is a library full of universal content so you can look at any market and begin to apply what it is that I'm disclosing on the channel. I want to say thank you to those that left the likes. There was at least 4 likes here. And then, of course, Dimitri and Gabriel. Thank you so much for being kind enough to leave comments. That really, really helps the video. Thank you so much for doing that. Trying to give you some universal content, and I'm so glad you appreciate just that. The last time I made a video was a couple months ago, and I told you in this video I was only going to give you maybe a couple videos, and then I would, of course, leave again. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you this video here. I'm gonna see, can I just again load up a lot of information in the video so that way it can sustain you guys and you can begin to get your trading to work. The goal is just again to provide some help in the YouTube space. I want to help some traders get their trading to work. So if you don't mind, tell someone about the channel. Let them know, hey man, we got some information over here that's useful and you can apply it straight away. All right, so most view videos, you're more than welcome to take a look at this information here. If you never read a chart before, you can go with that content there. Do forgive me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. I just got over cold, so I get a little dry here and there. So I hope not to do this a lot throughout the video, but I sometimes need to just pause for a moment. The universal threshold, I'm gonna cover this. This is where the bar will typically retrace and then resume. So I want to show you what that looks like and what's too far. Like how far the bar needs to come into the prior bar before it resumes. The price action trend, I'm gonna go over that. The price action method, we definitely got to talk about that because that's important, majority. And then, of course, that universal chart scale. I'll touch on this, not so much, but I'll touch on it. And then I do offer indicators. If you're in the market for that information, you're more than welcome to it if you want it. It's not needed. I want to tell you that everything that I'm trying to show you how to read the chart with nothing on the chart. And then from there, you can just have a professional's opinion on your chart should you want to purchase the indicator suite. All right. So let's get into it. Right now, let's just go with this right now before I go and break down these other charts. Um, this is bad. So just looking at this right here, we have a trend here. I can pretty much see that's 7 bars, but let's lay it out. This is bad what they're doing. We're going to talk about that in relation to the majority. All right, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. That's 7. All right, so 7 straight away when you pull up the chart, you should be able to see something that's happening. And I'm going to tell you what it is, so you'll always be able to do it. Okay, so there's our trend. Now, if they're going to go to trend distance, that will be up here. I don't know if they'll make that, but that's the center of the scale. So you would go to center of the scale, and this may change because I'm going to just kind of throw this out here just a bit. But this will be, matter of fact, let me do it this way. This will be the center of the scale. This will be the lower portion of the scale, like halfway. You divide it in half again. I'm not going to worry about up here, but you get it. It'd be halfway up here, somewhere to this effect, right in that area. But they're right at the lower portion of the scale and they're trying to roll over. Now, again, I said this is bad, and we're going to go over why. We're going to look at the majority rule, but I'm going to put this here really quickly. The center of the uptrend is here. All right, so we're going to kind of just throw this in here. All right, so the center of the uptrend, the COT, is right here. What they're doing here, this is not fun. Now, I do get that they're holding this. Let me just kind of open this up. Matter of fact, yeah, let me do this. Let me just open this up just a hair. I get why they're stalling here. Did they break this low yet? Yeah, they broke it. All right, so yeah, this is bad. This is bad, but that's the center of that uptrend. That's the center of the uptrend. It's suggesting that it's going to go up. I think this is bad for reasons of the majority. So, majority rule, here's the definition if you put it in Google, but put it like this. The minority is compelled to follow. But the definition right here from Google, here you go. The principle that is greater, the principle that the greater number should exercise greater power. All right. And I'm trying to show you what that looks like in a chart. Here's a scenario of it happening right now. Right now. All right. So that's the majority. So we get a big wick, smaller wick, small body, big body. Oftentimes, the small body, okay, will be attached to the bigger wick. And most of the time, the bigger body will be attached to the smaller wick. All right, it's really simple. Whenever the majority shows up, and there's 2 forms of majority, I'm going to show you that's on the chart. And again, This deals with greater power. All right. So it's really important that when this show up, it works. That's all. So right now, right now, let's look at this. And I don't like to look left. I like to look at the real time. But let's look at this right here. Let's look at this right here. We're gonna find our trend and we'll look at what's in the trend that can possibly cause it to turn around. We have that scenario. All right. So the scenario would be you got a wick, okay? Then we get the smaller body, if you will, and then we get the bigger body, all right? And the body has to fit inside this body at least twice. It's really just that simple. All right, now that's what you got. That happened here. Did they go the distance before the trend was set? All right, let's see if it went the distance. I believe it did. And I want you just starting out, I only want you to go for what's reasonable. Okay, go for what's reasonable. Once you do that, and you get acclimated to the whole process, then go for more. But for right now, I want you to kind of focus in on what's reasonable. All right, now the bars are colored based on this principle here, the majority principle being played out in this fashion. All right, which it was here, but that's why the bar turned green. The mid of the bar, which there's a mid on the bar, it's just I don't have it plotted. I have our threshold plotted there, and we're going to talk about that in a moment as well. The mid of the bar, do forgive me, is above the bar's high. And we're going to go down to something small because I want to read this a little bit faster. And this 1 minute is a tad bit slow. But it's above the bar's high. And again, same thing. And it's kind of two in one. You got all the majority principles showing up here. Well, both majority showing up. The mid of the bar is above the bar's high. You get the increase off the bottom. That's suggesting that it can get up here. Now we do see that information, that same scenario I just explained to you, it's all over the chart. It's everywhere. It's littered all over the chart. You cannot not see it. Everything that I'm going to show you, I want to make sure that you can see it several times over and you can see it in real time, and it absolutely should be able to give you what it is that you're expecting it to give you. So I want to make sure that this channel deals with real time, giving you specific information that's related to how price should behave. And should it not do what it is that I'm suggesting, I want to tell you that's bad. There's something wrong once you see that the majority showed up and it's not performing as it should. All right, so let's take a look at what I just said. Majority just showed up and it's not performing as it should. Okay? I want to tell you that. Here's majority showing up and it's not performing as it should. All right, and it goes down. This is bad. It came in here. They went under there. That's not okay. They did it again. That's not okay. Now, unfortunately, it hasn't taken off to the downside yet, and we got some hole in them right here. And then let's see if this can, get us up here, to that. I, I, I don't know. I don't know. All we can do, is just pay attention to what they're doing. Right now, this is not bad. Let's see, can they get here and then see what the response be if they get here. Let's see. Let's just see how that plays out. All right, now, so the next thing that we're definitely wanting to focus on is this. So we want to get that mid above the prior bar's high. Okay. Because there may be instances where you're not going to see, where you're not going to see this, where you're not going to see the big wick, the little wick. You may not see that everywhere. That may not be everywhere, although I find it very challenging for it not to be on the chart at some point that you're trading. So if you plan on sitting in front of the chart more than, let's say, 5 minutes, you should be able to see within 5 minutes some of this. You should. You should. I don't think that they can keep printing bars without showing you this at some point. So I want you to know your trades can work. I want to say that to you. Your trades can absolutely work. So if you're having a hard time, this should help you. Hit the like button. Help somebody else. Hit the like button right now. I want to show you that this can help you. I don't have a lot of funny terminology for this stuff. I don't. I have what's universal. Majority. It's happening on every chart. It's not some interpretation that I'm exclusive to understanding. No, I want you to understand it because it needs to be comprehended from all vantages. So if you're someone that like trade order flow, oscillators, moving average, support and resistance, whatever your niche is when it comes to trading, I want you to still see that it's the same principle that's going to cause each one of you to win. So someone may use the order flow, someone may use the moving average, someone may use the oscillator, none of that stuff make majority work. Majority is by itself a standalone, and it's the leading thing. It's not You don't need a book map to get this to work. Now, there's no bad light on book map. Book map and all the order flow stuff out there is wonderful tools to have. I just want to tell you that unless this shows up on the chart, it's not going to go. And sometimes they do show up and they change their mind. And if they change their mind, I want you to know what to expect. That's all. And so right now, this pattern is holding. It didn't want to, do the right thing here. It didn't want to do it here, and it's doing it here. And again, we got this kind of sitting in our trend. There's the COT, the center of that trend, and it's leaving. So now it made that distance, and you just wash, rinse, and repeat. Just kind of do the same thing. So let's go over here and just kind of project this forward. And yeah, they're making it. Now, can they get back up here? Let's see. That's all we can do is let's see if that's at all possible. All right. So now let's uh let's take a look at that high before I go into something smaller. Let's go and take a look at this high. See, could you have caught this decline given what it is that I'm explaining to you? I know the bars are like really small right now. Hold on, let me see. Can I open it up just a bit more? Hold on, let me get the price line. Let me get the price line off the chart because that's probably what's compressing the information here. Let's remove this price line. All right, so I want you to be able to know that the trade can work, and it's working based on a principle, something that's controlling how it behaves. It's nothing that I'm going to tell you. There's nothing someone can sell you. That's why I say I'm not a vendor. I don't sell you stuff. I give you information because it's the information that's going to make the trades work, make the indication show up. So I'm looking for principles when I code indicators, and so when the indicator tell you, hey, this is important, it should highlight, hey, this is important. Matter of fact, let me do this really quick. There's an indicator in your indicator list for those who bought it. You can go down to, and again, I did do some updates. Go down to increase. Let's go to increase and just kind of throw this up here really quickly. Now, is it going to show every scenario of this? No. That's why I tell you that the tools are meant for you to learn from. So when I make indicators, you should be able to plot them on the chart and watch them, and eventually you should be able to learn some of what makes the signal show up. All right, some of what. It's not going to be that you're going to understand every indicator in the indicator list. You're not. There's some things I put into, of course, coding the indicators to spot out some specifics still based on fundamentals of majority, but you won't be able to readily detect what it is that it's doing. However, there's significantly a great deal of indicators in that indicator list that you would be able to learn from, and that's important. Don't have stuff on your chart that you can't learn from, and it should be readily identifiable. So we had increase on this top, so, right here. You had that IN that showed up, and again, you can put that on your chart as well. This is the no touch, no close bar color. So if you get the indicator suite, it's in there. All right, and if you have it, go ahead and use it. But the increase, it showed up here on the top. Okay. Now, again, it's not going to get every scenario. It's not. But there's the wick. It's a little bit bigger than this wick here. All right. Now, you got the body thing going on here. This high is a little higher than that one, but it doesn't matter. You got the body, aspect of it here, but it's not both. So we want to kind of see both. We want to see this wick being bigger than this one, smaller body, bigger body, and that was there. And so that was on that high. All right, so now let's take the indicator off because you don't need indicators to trade. I'm trying to teach you how to spot this information without indicators. But I want to have you know that you should be able to learn from the indicators. They're in the list. Put them on the chart and go ahead and learn while you're trading. Go ahead and learn how to read the market with the information that's provided. So the market is going to give you some information. Use it. All right. So that's how you could potentially get it to work. You could see the majority coming into it. All right. Now, the first pattern, it gave you this. Okay. But this mid, well, this low is touching that prior bar's mid. Well, the current bar, that bar, the low is touching the mid. So that's not this. Well, for this to go down, that's not that. But it's this. Now, it's just fantastic if you can get this to show up in conjunction with both of these. All right. Now, exclusively, you can play this. Exclusively, you can play this, or you can exclusively play this. Each one of these are a form of majority. I want to go ahead and say that to you. So there may be occasions where you're going to have this scenario where you got the mid is above the high or below the low. There may be scenarios where you're going to have this going on, but there's not going to be a separation of the mid above the high or below the low. Or there may be, where the bodies are somewhat relatively similar. All right. So you may have to go with this or vice versa. So alternatively, you can rotate between the three. And so I'm trying to explain the market in its totality, how it always will print this stuff. And so I don't want you to be, of course, taken advantage of by a lot of convoluted rhetoric that's online about how to trade. It's very simple. And I want to make sure that you're able to see just that. So now, the market has a mind, and this is it. This is how we work, and this is a sophisticated model of us because every price somebody's buying and selling. And so the collection of thoughts that comprises the price activity tends to, come in as a trend. And then, of course, once you get your trend, it's going to go the trend distance. And once it goes the trend distance, you're going to reach destiny and it may rotate. So just be a bit careful as to how you get into it. You will want to get into it as close as you can to the center of the trend. You want to get as close to the origination of the thought process. All right. You want to get as close as you can. Because the further it moves away, it may turn around and run you down. And I don't want to see that for you. I don't. All right. So when the origin of the thought happens, I want you to look for this. Let's call it motivation, incentive, initiative. Let's label it how it is that we process information. So the ambition, incentive, motivation, all of these things that contributes to our choice making that causes us to make a choice. It starts in the mind. It starts in how we think. And so the market has its own thinking, if you will, the deliberation process, accumulation, if you will, and then it begins to produce what it is that it thought of. All right. So I want you to kind of see the chart exactly like yourself because it's not an abstract function. All right. So let's get back to real time. All right. So now that you're able to comprehend that it's very simple. See, we almost got there to kind of lean back, but we're almost there. They didn't come and hit this bar yet. They haven't came and hit this bar yet. So we're working on it. We're working on it. I didn't like what they were doing right here. I really didn't. I really didn't. I'm glad the center of the trend and majority was right here to pick it up and go in and get it to work. Now you had majority off the bottom. You did. If you look down here, you had the small wick. I mean the big wick, small wick, and then you had the smaller body, big body. All right. So that's down there. All of this is down there, both scenarios, and this one too. So you had all three things because the mid is in here. It's above that high. So all three things is right there. That means yes, there's a good chance it will go. Remember, it showed up here and it didn't work, and look what you're able to accomplish. So if this had not worked, and they immediately turned, notice I said immediately turned around, there's a good chance you can go ahead and take that distance. I would do it with this one. You could take that distance and go ahead and aim for at least here. Just that simple. All right. So I want to say that to you. That's how you are to expect the market to reward you. Now, so that's what you're looking for. I want to go ahead and share that with you and have you know that. Now, let's go into this 15-second chart because I want to give you enough information that can sustain you moving forward. All right, I want to give you some information that can sustain you moving forward. And we can let's take off this. We just went over that. So I'm gonna take this off. All right. So now let's kind of just look at everything while we're doing this. Let's just kind of look at everything. All right. So now let's look at the 15-second chart. And again, those time ranges is 12:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 12:15, 1:45 Eastern. 6:15, 7:45. This is free. You can use this information right here. And the mid is what you're trying to get them to do. You're trying to get them to stay above the mid or beneath the mid if you want to go down. That's kind of what you want to see them do. They kind of got it this mid here. You can kind of see them lift up a bit, Let me blow this up just a hair. They got to the mid, popped up, but they just didn't want to hold it, came under it, and then they played the backside of that range and began to decline. Now they didn't make it all the way down here, and again, this is yet some other indicators. That's well, not the ranges. That's free. You can get that anywhere. But this bar coloring is a part of the indicator suite. That's your pullback bar color. So if you got the indicator suite, just go in the indicator list and put your pullback bar color on your chart, and it'll do this with the outline. Put the pullback bar color and the pullback bar outline on the chart, and it'll give you that effect. All right. So, but use those time windows. Now let's look at this 15-second chart. Let me give you again just some more of that information, but yet in this capacity, because I wanted the bars to just move a little bit faster. So that way I can give you this information a little quicker. All right, so here's our threshold on our daily. All right, so let's kind of open this up just a hair. Yeah, so those lines, that green line and that red line there, that right there is our threshold. The mid is in the middle as well. The mid is in the middle as well. They fell into it. They fell into it, and now they're coming back out of it. We want to see them. Remember, I said we want to see them close above that 255. I said that before we got started into everything. I want to see them kind of close above that if they can, if at all possible. Now, I meant to, matter of fact, let me go back there just for a moment, just to show you that as well. 'Cause I did tell you I was going to show it to you on the 1 minute. Then we're going to go back to our 15-second. Because I showed you in the video here, I showed you that there's a certain amount of time that they like to stall out. Okay, there's a certain amount of time. Matter of fact, you can well just click on this and you'll look under the video. I tried to tell you that there's a certain amount of time that the market will like to stall out. Now, already I did tell you when they break pivots, you got to be careful because sometimes when they break the pivot, let's start with this because they kind of did the right thing here, which is something that you really want to look for. You want to see them pivot. You want to see them pivot, okay, and then you want to see them do that. And so if they can give you the two closes fairly immediate, great, fantastic. Or the bar itself. Let's say you get this bar here and they can close beneath that bar twice. No gap needed. You don't need a gap. And I'll tell you how you can find the gap to show up. I can tell you how to get that to show up without needing the third bar. I can tell you how to do it. It's really simple. And again, I've been trading this long before there was an ICT. I want to tell you that I'm just that old. It wasn't even prop firms when I started trading. I want to say that to you. So been trading majority. That's important. That's all it is. Majority is almost in everything that we do in life. I don't know why when people trade, they tend to forget that that's important. So you got to have majority a part of what you're doing when you're trading. So two closes beneath the pivot or the bar would help. It just would help. All right, it just would really help. But they stopped here, and here's your 1, 2. All right, so yeah, they can go again. But see now this is where it gets fun. All right, so this is where it gets fun. Because now they're stopping and they're doing that one up, one back down type foolishness. They giving you some of that business here. Let's see, can we get it here? Yeah, we had one up, then of course back down. Okay, so we want to just see if you can get the two straight away. So we had two here. Well, they broke it. I'm sorry, they broke it first, then it came back in, then it goes. So that's not fun. Let's get it here. Let's see what we got. Not cherry picking. I want to show you. That's one. That's two. Yeah, they can go again. They pulled up to it and they turn around. All right. So now that's how you get that to work. So when they're doing this, kept popping up as if they're coming to get you. I just want you to know, kind of throw that into the majority function that I was just telling you about. Throw that in there, and you should be able to get that to work as well. All right, want to just put that in there for you. Now, the other little tidbit I wanted to throw at you is this. I told you guys in the last video that most of the time when they stop, before they play that game, they'll put like 4 bars at least, 4 to 5 bars inside of the prior bar. And sometimes it can be more. It was on the day that I told you that in the last video before they took off. Okay. They stopped the market, and here's roughly about 4 bars inside of here. You had your big wick, little wick, small body, big body. They stalled you out. And I told you, I think it was, yeah, it was in that video. I said, we got to see if they can close above that high, So whenever you get them doing this, okay, just know that this bar right here, this one right here is important. So the moment that they hit the inside bar, I know a lot of you go with the inside thing, that's fine. Just know that that can last for at least 4 bars and sometimes more. Just depends on how they want to behave as far as getting the majority to step in and get it to go. If you don't believe me, let's take a look at this one. So here's that bar here from high to low. Let's just kind of throw this and move it all the way over. Okay, from low to high. Here we go. Look how many bars, and it's going to start. This is going to start with at least four. Okay, it's going to start with at least four. Okay, I just want to tell you that it can last longer. I can tell you some other stuff to look for around this bar, but I want to tell you, start with what I'm showing you. Here's another one. Here's another one. We got this bar right here. You had at least four sitting inside of it. Okay, we had this one right here. You had more than four sitting inside of it. Eventually, they will go. So I don't want you here. You had this one too. This is one. Okay. So eventually they will get on their way. Okay. Eventually they will get on their way. Okay. I want to tell you that, but it's going to be at least four. So just get ready for it. Just get ready for it. So I want to throw a lot of content in front of you to help you get your trading to work. Because I know a lot of you may get beat up when it slows down. It stops me out too. This stuff stops me out. Most time when the market gets me, it's because I forget. I forget certain things because there's so much stuff that I know, and I try to look for a lot of it. And my focus is a little different at times. But I want to tell you, it's okay if they stop you out. Just go right back to the very thing that I just showed you at the beginning. Majority is only three ways they're going to put it on the chart. If you can get all three in the same place, fantastic. It should just go in your favor. All right. So I want to say that to you. Want to make sure that trading is very simple for you. That's all. Want to make sure it's simple. All right. So now let's see. Can we get this mid to fall back beneath that low? Matter of fact, let's go get some of that. Let's go. Let's go get some of that. Let's go in here. Come on. I clicked on it. All right. So let's go in here. Let's go down here. All right. So let's get us some pressures. All right. So let's get us some pressures and go in here and just kind of do this. And so this will flash and tell you that it's happening. So if you want something on your chart that'll flash and kind of say, hey, that scenario is kind of taking place right there with the majority, this will do that. All right, so let's put this off in the right-hand corner here up at the top as well as the bottom in case we're up here or down there at the bottom. And it'll flash. All right, now these indicators over here, they're flashing based on some other things, some different things. The arrows, they're flashing based on three different things. And then, of course, the strips, there are three different things that it's calculating as well. And then the two pressures, they're flashing based on some other information. This 5 minute, this 15 minutes hourly, I don't have pressures or arrows in there because I have the multi-time frames up here. The hourly and all of that is in here. All right, but you'll see this flash here. And again, if you have the indicator suite, please put this on your chart to kind of just alert you to it happening. So you don't have to always have that on your mind. Now, if we can get the blue line, of course, beneath the low, which I don't know if it's going to make it, it would, of course, color the bar, but it didn't want to do that. All right. So now the red bar behind it, of course, is the stop placement. That's supposed to be stop placement. Now, this becomes a no close bar typically. Now, there is the no touch function where it puts the level as well as the no close under the bar, the NC. That's on the daily here. You can kind of see that, they do that. And there's the no close back here. They hit it 3 times, took off. So it can be a no close bar here. And then, they can go ahead and go. They shouldn't want to do that. Remember, I just told you it can do it for 4 bars. So if you want to come back up and stall us out, maybe for another bar or so, just understand that. Okay, so that's 3. This will be 4 and 8 seconds before they break this low. Okay. Everything I'm telling you, I want you to know it can show up. All right. And they can get down here, do 4, and come back this way. I just want to let you know, like, it can last. So there's the 4. All right. Now they pop the low. Remember what I told you, that they can break the low, do 1, and then don't want to give you 2 and come back. So you need to make sure that you're seeing majority kind of show up in real time. There's the big wick. Now this bar did turn red because the mid fell beneath the low. I don't like this because we got the big wick here. We may come in with a small one here. I don't know, but hopefully this stop would potentially hold. That would be the stop here. And let's see if it'll go ahead and break down. Now remember, we're doing it again. Here go another 4. Okay, here go another 4. There's that bar. There's that bar here. All right. Now remember, they broke the low. So yeah, so there's that another 4. Okay. So normally it'll do that. I don't want you to lose, kind of focus about where price is going to go. I don't want you to do that. See, it had 4 up here. See? We had four, well, actually five before they actually fell out of it. I don't want you to lose focus. That's all. I don't want you to lose focus if it slow down and give you 4 bars and inside the bar. Don't think that it can't go. That's our scenario here. There's the small wick and hardly no wick. The body being small, the mid fail beneath. All of that is coming into play right here. So of course you should go for what is reasonable. Remember, I told you try to start out with this first. Okay. Once you master getting what's reasonable, then go for more. It's really simple. I want to see your trading work, and it's to no consequence to myself. I'm not losing anything by telling you this. Trust me, I'm not. I retired from this space. I want to tell you that. So I'm not some random joker that don't know anything about markets. I have a live trading section if you're new. I have a live trading section. You're more than welcome to see me place live trades. Just go. You can go to playlist videos, either one of these. Click on these. I had a live section. I did a few videos in there. I did one trade for 1,000 past proper counts in 20 minutes. So it's not, trading, watching people trade live is, to me, is that's not what you need if you're learning trading. You don't need that. You want to be careful how you trade live, because it's important that you learn before you trade live. Just learn. Watching someone place trades is not going to teach you how to trade. You need to know what makes for the trading itself. See, here's another 4. What makes it move? Okay, so here's another 4. Okay, they broke the low, did one, one right outside, come right back. Saying, well, no, they gave us 2 here, which is fantastic. So they gave us all 4 things from right here. That is fantastic. So let's see what they do when they get up here. Let's see if they can fall right back now. Let's see. Let's see. That's all we can do is see. But I want to tell you, actually, it's more than 4. So we have more than 4 covered in. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. This is not bad, but I don't know. Let's see what they do when they get up here. Let's just see. We have a trend down. That's what's there. I didn't count it out to you. We'll get to that in just a moment. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 7. So it should go the distance of the trend. So let's kind of map this out. All right, give or take, give or take. Let's see if we want to turn back around and do the rest of this, or are they in a position where they want to move up? Let's see if that's the case. I don't know. But that's saying that they can get here. Okay, so that's down at 241. Remember, we want to try to keep them above that 255 for today's close if we possibly can. Want to see if we can do that. And hopefully, again, this video will find you well and get you what it is that you're looking for in your trading. All right, so we got another 4 scenario here. Okay, so I want you to begin to look for this. It's very simple. It's not complicated. So I'm sorry, it moved on me. So we have 4 here and kind of doing it again to us. Okay, we want to slow it down and kind of throw that. We're not going to go, scenario in front of you, trying to do that. Now, if we're going to count on the way up, all right, so let's do that. So we got 1, 2, 3, here's 4, 5 maybe. Okay, we only need 2 more and then we'll have a trend back up. All right, so now the center of the trend for the down, the center of that trend would be here. All right, so that would be here. Let me just kind of color this so it don't get like mixed up here. Let's go red. Yeah, again, like I said, you don't need you can watch the live trades if you want. I think it's pretty redundant. If I teach you what it is that you need to look for, watching me place a winning or losing trade, I lose too. It wouldn't mean anything. The same thing would happen to you. It would. It should happen to us all because we're not creating the experience. Remember I told you? We're not the ones designing the function. We're not. I wish I could control which direction this candle actually will finish. I would never lose. But that's not how the experience is laid out for us. It's not. All right, so now if we did the center of the chart, here's the center of the chart. We're roughly right there at it. A lower portion of the chart really is right down there, and then the upper portion of the chart roughly just a little bit above our center of our trend, our COT for up here. Now, this is the scenario, but we're on 6. Let's see what it can do. This is that scenario, though. It is. And all 3 things are there. So we have a wick. It's not really that much bigger than this one, but it's bigger, maybe about 6. So I would have liked to see a little bit more of a dramatic effect there, but it's not. All right, so yeah, they're wiping. Remember what I just told you. Now look what I told you. I want you to go back to what I told you. Okay, you gotta go the other way. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. Yeah, that's roughly it. Yeah, so now that's here, because it didn't want to give anything in that direction. So it's a good chance that it can get up here. It's just a good chance. Just a good chance. Now, They are running into a problem right here, but I want to let you know, like, potentially it can get this far. Okay, now let's see. I think we got our last bar for the 7 as well. So we got 7 here. All right, so now let's measure this. Let's measure this. All right, so now let's go 7. All right, so let's go 7 here. Want to make sure that you see that everything I'm telling you, it's going to happen on the chart over and over and over again. And you should not be the least bit concerned about whether or not you'll get it right. You'll get it right more than you'll get it wrong. You will get it wrong, but you will get it right more than you'll get it wrong, because it's one of those things where it has to print this scenario. See, this is that scenario. So maybe this is going to slow it down. I know we got our trend here though. We have a trend here, but that's that scenario. I know they just wiped it out here, and they supposedly went this far. Let's see if they'll not break this and just go ahead and go down some more. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I know they got rid of these guys here, and they supposedly, had went this far. They didn't get there. They got just no, they didn't get there. Yeah, so this is another one of those scenarios. All right, so let's project this. Excuse me. If they're to go up, that's saying this, but they're running right back into this. Now remember what I just told you. If they wipe this stuff out, I know they didn't want to get it here. I know they didn't want to get it here. We can't keep playing this game where you make the pattern and you wipe it out. Both parties can't be absolutely wrong at this point. So let's see what they want to do with this. Let's see. I know they pulling up to here and they're not wanting to go past it. Yeah, these guys may end up in trouble. All right. So yeah. So let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Now remember, it's a pivot break too. Kind of throw that in there. I got to make sure I tell you that as well. They break it, do the break, come back in. Same thing here. They can break it and want to come back. I want you to kind of put everything that I'm telling you, put it all together. But there's that scenario here. They responded. I thought maybe they, wanted to double back and go up here. I did tell you that, we got a problem here. Here's the center of that trend. So if you're not going to stay up, clearly you'll go back down. It can't be both. Remember, it can never be both. It can never be both. So if they're not going to go up and they're trying to make another trend back down here, that will put them back down here at the 241.50, 241.50. All right. So, but when this flash up here in the corner, uh, when that flash is just telling you that the blue line is falling beneath that low, the bar should turn red. Preferably, this would be a no close bar. They shouldn't, close back above it, and it should go again. Now, the mid of all reversals are important, but let's take out threshold. Let's take out threshold on this bar here. Let's just kind of throw that forward. All right, so that threshold is important. See that threshold? That's our wick zone. That's our wick zone. All right, so whenever they pull into the bar, we're looking for them to reject outside of that wick zone. How far is too far? If they go, and close outside of our wick zone, that's bad. Okay, and this one they ran the bar. Period. Okay, it wasn't a lot of room there, but as you can see, they ran the bar, but they never closed beneath that threshold. That's important. All right, just want to go ahead and tell you that it's really important that they don't do that. Like whatever you do, don't go and do that. Kind of had it here. They're getting sandwiched in between. There's your wick zone here. I don't like this. I don't like that. So they may want to go above that. Maybe. Okay, they responded here, but they should run this at this point. But there's that wick zone there. You got a small response here. Yeah, they're gonna go through this bottom. No question about that. They just close beneath the wick zone. Close beneath the wick zone. You can go through this bottom. I get the pop up. I get that. Why not send someone in the wrong direction and come back and run the stop? So someone's down here buying it. If it lifts, I'll be surprised. But they took out the wick zone. That's dangerous. That's all. It's dangerous when they do that. Try to be, just mindful of that. When they turn the market, you want to make sure that they don't take out what's important. That's all. And the middle of the pattern is in between the wick zone. It's in the middle. So let's see if they'll run this low. And I'd like to come down, of course, for brevity's sake, but I want to be on something small so you can see chop too, because a lot of times, well, I call it chop because everybody else do, but For the most part, it's just when the market is going through its phase. That's all. It's a phase of accumulating. It's slowing it down, doing business, and then it'll take off again. And we got another four. Okay. We got another four. It's not about them going out the top or the bottom. It's just knowing how long it could last. So, no, we had three here. I'm sorry. That was three, but we had four on that one. It's just how long can this, ensue? Okay, so there we go. We blew the low. See, the mid is beneath the low. Okay, that's what you want. All of the scenario is here. Okay, we have a larger wick, no wick, mid beneath the low. Now remember, it's a break of a low too. Let me throw that in there because that can get in the way sometimes. All right, so there's the mid of the low. Actually, the mid of this bar is like, well, it was on it. So yeah, they broke the low. Let me do this so you'll know. I want you to know all of this stuff. And again, to no consequence to myself. I don't mind sharing information. If you don't mind, let someone know about the channel. Just tell them you appreciate the information here and that, I'm doing the best that I can to share what I can with you guys. Can't tell you everything, but I want to definitely tell you some stuff that can help you out. So they broke the low. They're coming back. All right. So now they may want to go up. I mean, maybe they don't want to get all the way down here. Maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe they just don't want to do that. All right, but that's my time with you. Again, just wanted to give you some information that you can go straight away to the charts and begin to utilize and find your way where it's simple. It's not complicated. Not a whole lot of convoluted rhetoric. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to tell you about. This kind of block, that kind of block. It's not that serious. It's majority, people. Majority. Please look in the chart, find majority. All right, that's all you got to do. Let's see, can we give you one more thing to look for? It's not so much in this. Yeah, it's not so much in this. I did throw that in another video. I'm not even gonna go try to find it. I'm not even gonna try to find it. But there's another way to find majority in price runs. There's another way of doing it. There's another way of doing it, and it's relatively simple. You're kind of doing a fractal perspective when you do it. I've done it on the channel. You just have to go through the videos. Also, on yesterday, well, not yesterday's video, but the day before this video here, go back and look at this because I went over how to look at. I'm not going to do it in this video. I don't have the time. But go back and look at the video, and I try to outline to you while the bar is fluctuating, what to look for in the fluctuation, or no sooner it opens. So no sooner the bar opens or the fluctuation itself, how to spot pressure into the fluctuation where you can just get an idea of how the bar will end. Will it end as a bear bar or a bull bar? And given the ebbs and flows. So I want you to go back and take a look at that video if you can. And if you don't mind, again, suggest to someone to come and view the content. Again, this is a library and you're more than welcome to all of the information. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.